Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Are you guys in the mood for community goods and great barbecue? That's what you'll find at the Coker Market, located in Coker, Alabama at the four-way intersection off of County Road 140. Their hours of operation are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m., and their menu items include the Midnight, which is smoked ham, smoked pork, Swiss cheese, Creole mustard, mayonnaise, and a pickle, grilled on French bread. That sandwich is absolutely amazing. Make sure you go and check out the Coker Market right there at the four-way intersection in Coker for amazing food and community goods. Coming up on this edition of the Stingray Show, we are going to take you back in time to the early 2000s and talk with a former Alabama defensive end, Ahmad Childress, who played at Alabama from 2002 and 2003. He was a JUCO transfer to Alabama. He will join us just ahead on this edition of the Stingray Show right here on Tide 100.9.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Those of you on Tide 100.9, look out. You're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, to everyone in Tuscaloosa listening here on Tide 100.9. With the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And with all of that, guys, we say welcome inside another edition of the Stingray Show right here on Tide 100.9. And we are talking with a former Alabama player who played from 2002 into 2003. He was a defensive lineman, number 95, and Heath, my friend, this guy was a big old boy on the defensive line, let me tell you.
I'm going to let him know that you called him a boy. I call him a man. You'll have to settle up with him later, Stephen.
Right.
No, huge guy, huge presence, and was not only a huge presence in his physique, but in his play as well.
So without further ado, let me just go ahead and say he comes to Alabama from Garden City Community College, played there in 2000 and 2001, and then transferred into the University of Alabama, where he lettered both years and played under Dennis Franchione, and then, of course, Mike Shula. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ahmad Childress. Ahmad, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Blessed.
So where are you in the world these days, Ahmad?
Oh, I'm back in my hometown in Nashville, Tennessee.
Ahmad, before you went off to community college in Kansas, you were from Nashville, correct?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. And what high school did you go to there in Nashville?
Whites Creek High School.
Okay. And so there you went from there to the junior college route. Now, I know there's a lot of junior colleges everywhere, especially in the Southeast, especially the state of Mississippi, who has a huge junior college program, a massive one. Why did you choose to go to Kansas?
I went to Kansas because Kansas was they came to me because when I was in high school, I was one of those players that, thought that teacher's going to give you everything. You're a star. They're going to give you everything. You don't have to do your grades. You don't have to study. I didn't take my academics as tough as I supposed to have taken. So, you know, a lot of schools, they backed off when they found out I might have to, my grades was low, I might not be able to qualify. But Alabama stayed with me.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And they came to my mom and them and was like, we know junior college, we're going to call them and have them get in touch with you and send you up there, and then happen to be Garden City Community College.
Gotcha, because I'm pretty sure Jackie Sherrill over at Mississippi State had all the junior colleges in his back pocket, because that's how he kept that program afloat for a couple of decades over there in Starkville.
Yes,
that actually makes tons of sense to send you as far away from Mississippi and that junior college program as possible.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, it was far away. I think it was almost like 1,000 miles away, almost.
Wow. So what was the big shocker for you coming from Nashville and then going to Kansas? What was the big shocker?
Being away from home and being to a city, man, where it was literally nothing. I've never been to a city where probably two red lights. The rest is four-way stops. Their mall consisted of a Sears and a Foot Locker and a Sally's. I come from where it's like 3-4 miles in my. So I mean, it was to drop me off. It was rough because you know it was a story. I'll tell you a story about. You know, I got there. My mom dropped me off. My mom and my aunt Jane, they dropped me off. So my mom was finna get ready to leave, and I'm like, you know, okay, let's go. I'm ready to go with you. This you put me out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know nothing about this. I'm looking at it. I'm like, this. I don't even see a downtown. Like, no, I'm going home. Sure enough, she calls my daddy. Hey, he talking about he tried to come home. My daddy got on the phone. He said, hey, man, you ain't going home. Man up, and hung up the phone.
So with that, did you ever enjoy your time there in Kansas? Do you look back at it very fondly?
I wound up, I loved the Kansas. I wound up, when I stayed there, I loved it. Met my best friend, my brother for life. We went on to Alabama together, Derek Pope. He's my son's godfather. I mean, I went on and met him. That was a blessing. And then I had a family. They had like some families down there that would adopt kids that was from out of state to help them feel at home. And man, I had a lovely family, the Parrs down there, Evan and Adele Parr. And then still today, I keep in touch with them. I keep in touch with them still to the day. And I mean, they helped me feel so much at home. And you know, they called home. My mom was like, man, we got him. You don't have to worry about nothing. My mom, she was like, oh, my baby's gone off. And
well, what would the Parrs do for you?
Oh, man, they'll take me to church. They'll come to some of the games. They'll have me over their house for dinner all the time. And I go play with their kids and stuff. And like still to the day, their kids call me their brother still.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they all grown. They got kids. Evan and Emilio and Adele, and I still keep up with them on Facebook, and they be like, "What's up, brother?" I was like, "What's up?"
That's great.
So Ahmad, I've got to ask you, when you left the community college, which other schools were recruiting you besides Alabama?
I had Michigan State, Iowa State, Colorado, Oklahoma, KU, K-State, South Carolina.
Right.
Mississippi State was, Ole Miss. I couldn't do UT did, but I told my coach, I was like, man, I'm not going to no UT. So you don't even have to worry about it. You just keep that letter in your office. I don't need that. I'm not.
So why did you not want to go to UT?
I did not want to go to UT because I did not want to be close to home.
Okay.
I've already got used to being away from home. So I'm like, man, I don't want to be nowhere near home. I want to go be around, be out of the state, you know.
And Tennessee was doing great things at the time.
Yeah, they was doing real good, but you know, I just got used to being away from home, so I'm like, hey man, let's keep it that way. Plus, I was kind of like, you know, trying to punish my dad, and you told me man up and stay with me, man up, so I'm gonna stay away from home then.
Yeah. So Ahmad, what ultimately made you choose the Crimson Tide of Alabama?
Man, I felt that they never gave up on me. You know, a lot of other schools, they gave up on me, and I could have just been a guy scrambling trying to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they never gave up on me. They gave me a second chance, so I'm like, y'all stay with me, I'm going to stay with y'all. I'm going to be loyal. Y'all never gave up on me, so I'm not going to give up on y'all.
So, Ahmad, hold that thought because we are up against our first break, and when we come back, we are going to continue the interview with Ahmad Childress, the former Alabama defensive lineman. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show right here on Tide 100.9. Citizens of West Alabama, have you heard the news? The Bank of Moundville, which was established way back in 1907, offers personal loans of all sizes, unsecured and secured, with competitive interest rates. You can contact them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is the Bank of Moundville, 205-371-2227, or go by and see them in downtown Moundville. They are an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. Do you guys like to fish? I know I do, and if you have a pond or lake in your backyard that needs stocking of fish, you need to contact biologist Jeff Bagwell with Honey Hole Fisheries. He can help you stock your lake with bluegill, largemouth bass, and hybrid striped bass. You can get in touch with Jeff Bagwell and Honey Hole Fisheries at 205-799-0192. Once again, that is Honey Hole Fisheries, 205-799-0192. Contact Mr. Jeff Bagwell today and let him help you build the lake of your dreams. Do you guys dream about owning a home or a condominium down on the beautiful beaches of Alabama, say Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, or maybe even Fairhope? Then let me tell you about First Class Real Estate South Home Group's owner, Celeste Hagler. She has brokers down there in the beautiful beaches of Alabama to help you purchase the home of your dreams and to live where you love in the state of Alabama. You can contact Celeste Hagler at 205-861-5698. Contact Celeste Hagler today to help you live where you love in the state of Alabama.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Watch for a crash blocking the left lane and left turn lane north on Skyland Boulevard at Cypress Creek Avenue. We also have an accident on McFarland Boulevard West at Hargrove. And
Ride the rhythm of Kool and the Gang. Tickets on sale now at FlowRiverResort.com. Roll Tide, the best sports talk, period. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we want to welcome you back to the Stingray Show. Hope all is well on this Thursday evening. Our guest this evening is none other than Alabama defensive lineman Ahmad Childress. And let's go on ahead and continue with this interview.
Now, I know the answer to this question, but I want to hear you say it, then I'm going to do a follow-up. The biggest difference when you came from the junior college ranks there in Kansas, when you came to Tuscaloosa and got an SEC play, the biggest difference, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be speed, correct?
Man, speed all day long, speed and power.
I was about to ask, what was the second biggest shocker to you when you got to Tuscaloosa and started playing with SEC athletes?
I knew I was in big boy ball now.
Mm-hmm.
I know, you still got junior college, you still got kids coming out from high school and stuff. So you still, I can say you still like in your playing field, you still in the same little pond.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But
right.
when you come to SEC ball, and I came to Bama, first thing I said, oh man, yeah, it's a lot of big fish in this pond. So it's time to ain't no play time. It's time to get down to work, get to it.
Hey, those first practice, the first practice or two, who were you cutting your eye out and checking out? Like, man, I got to go against him. Like you wanted to go against him, or you're like, man, I don't know if I want to go against this guy right now.
Man, it was one guy, Alonzo Ephraim, because I saw him. him and Justin Smiley and Mariko Porters, and even Dante Ellington and Dennis Alexander. I'm looking at them guys and I'm like, shit, they big just like you, dog. And I'm talking to myself. I'm like, man, they big just like you, and they moving. I'm like, shit, you gonna have to bring some artillery out now when you lying down. It ain't, I couldn't just be the brute power that I was in high school and junior college. I had to bring out my whole arsenal now.
Wow.
So, Ahmad, right there in 2002, you came to Alabama. Talk about what it was like for you to take the field for the first time in a Crimson Tide uniform, please.
Oh, man, my first time when I came out, I remember we was in Birmingham at Legion Field. We played against MTSU. And I'm like, okay, even I'm going against hometown first time in SEC ball, even though they MTSU not SEC, but I'm playing with the SEC team. I'm finna get to see what this crowd is really like. And I come out there for warm up, and the stands are already full in red, crimson, and white. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about now. So, I'm getting a little bit too hype out there. I'm about to, let all my energy go in warm ups because I'm like, the crowd's already here. I mean, it was lovely. I loved it.
Yes.
What was your first play like that day?
My first play that day, I mean, the whole thing, I was just like, I knew the play, but I was just like, man, I'm just going to come off the ball and just give it to this dude and let him know what time it is today. Like, I got over 80-something thousand looking at me. I've never played like in front of 80-something thousand. Like,
right.
No, I'm going to let him know you're not going to embarrass me none this game. I'm going to let you know what I'm doing. I'm going to control this tempo.
And so what happened on that play? What happened to that poor soul that lined up against you?
My first play, I'm not going to lie, it was a double team. It was a wind up the center double team down, and the guard came down. And I ain't gonna lie, as soon as after the double team, I held my ground right there. And that first thing I said, you better call for a double team because it was going to be ugly for you right now.
So, Ahmad, the very next week, game number 2 for you at Alabama, you had the opportunity to play in Norman, Oklahoma versus the Sooners. Outside of losing that game, what do you remember most about that game in terms of the atmosphere there in Norman?
Okay, I'm finna tell you. Y'all say I can tell my stories and everything.
Tell your story.
So y'all is finna trip off this one. So I had my uncle. His name was Jimmy Clardy, and my mom and them, they didn't make that game, but my uncle did because he lived right there in DeSoto, Texas. So Oklahoma, Texas, is real close.
Yeah.
So he comes to the game. So we coming in for warm up and everything, and we're supposed to go out for the game. Mm-hmm. So you go out to visit the locker room, you go out and it's that fence right there, and then you turn to go to the field. Okay, I'm coming out the locker room, and some just say, Ahmad, look to your right. And I just see my uncle on the fence with all Oklahoma fans. They booing us and everything. And he just right there on the fence, and he just start breaking through all their arms. Yeah, let's go Alabama. Forget Oklahoma. We finna whoop him today. He going down the line, knocking people's hands off the fence. He like, I don't care about no Oklahoma. Let's go. Let's get him, y'all. So, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, it looked like a dog running up and down the fence, barking at everybody. And so, I mean, it was funny, but that game, it was a great game. The atmosphere, Big 12, SEC. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was loud. It was loud the whole game.
Wow. Looking back at all of your playing experiences, here, there, everywhere, whether it be in junior college, high school, your time with pros or arena football or anything, any football, what atmosphere really kind of wowed you? Like, man, this is kind of cool. This is kind of neat how they doing it.
I love the Tennessee game. When we went down there and beat them that year. Mm-hmm. That Tennessee game, I mean, I was playing against most of my homeboys that I grew up with that was playing on the team. And, I mean, it was just the atmosphere of playing back home. Even though I'm not even in Nashville, it was Tennessee. So I had, some family members come, and The stadium was rocking, and I got to see the real. It was my first time getting the feel of SEC rivalry time.
Yes.
Now, I've been at the third game, the third Saturday of October. I've been at that game. I've been there in Neyland, running the camera down there on the field. Mm-hmm. And it shocks me that the field shakes almost the entire time. The ground under your feet just is constantly shaking. It's never a dull moment in there. Yeah. And that was the one thing I was like, okay, they're just doing this because they're running through the tee right now. And then, it dies down a little bit, but the kickoff's getting to happen. It starts again. And then, you're like, okay, after kickoff, it'll die down. Okay, first play, it'll die down. All right, after they get a lead, it'll die down. After they get behind, it'll die down. And it never dies down.
No, it never dies down. That game stays rocking.
Yeah, the field is always moving under your feet. Like, you can feel
the vibration.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
was it like that anywhere else?
Oklahoma was like that.
Okay.
Oklahoma was like that because, man, I remember we had them on the ropes. And I want to say we was tied up when this play happened. We was tied up, and we had to punt. And they wind up blocking the punt and scoring. And when that crowd went crazy, I was sitting there talking. I'm like, dude, I can't even hear myself talk to you. Like, it's rocking in here right now. Yeah, like that Oklahoma stadium, it was tough. That and the LSU stadium.
Oh yeah.
So Ahmad, you just talked about the Tennessee game right there on the road in Neyland Stadium. You had an interception that you returned in that game for 24 yards. Walk us through that play as you remember it, please.
I remember Coach calling a blitz on that play, and it was Wayne Bacon that came through. And we come off we coming off, boom, and we hit, and Wayne come through, and he tips the ball. And I just looks up and I see it. I like, yeah, this is my time right here. I'm playing against UT. Everybody's watching back home. I got to go get this. Because I'm usually one of them guys, I like to sit up there with the guy, and I'm going to show him that I'm the muscle. You ain't the muscle, I'm the muscle right here in this challenge. But I was like, I got to go get this one. I knew I wasn't going to get too far because I was already been huffing and puffing a little bit.
Right.
So, Wayne Bacon tipped the pass, and I saw it in the air, and I just went to go get it, and my tight end skills came in.
Right. Since 1999, residents of Tuscaloosa has depended on this butcher shop and grocery store. I'm talking about South's Finest Meats. With their specialty meats and fresh to frozen bulk vegetables, you can prepare delicious home-cooked meals all week long. At South's Finest Meats, customer service is their number one priority, and when you shop with them, you can expect to be treated like an MVP. Go by and check out South's Finest Meats at 3201 10th Avenue right there in Tuscaloosa. South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show. So, Ahmad, hold that thought because we are up against break, and when we come back, we are going to continue the interview with Ahmad Childress, the former Alabama defensive lineman. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show right here on Tide 100.9. Are you guys getting in the mood, West Alabama? Valentine's Day is fastly approaching, and all you need is love and coffee, and that's exactly what you'll find at Strange Brew Coffee House at 1101 University Boulevard, right there on the strip at the University of Alabama campus. And hey, they are rolling out brand new flavors for this month, including the Makeout, chocolate-covered berry, the cutie pie, drunken love, and flowers and chocolate. Go by Strange Brew Coffee House and get all of the love and coffee you so desperately deserve. Are you guys in the mood for community goods and great barbecue? That's what you'll find at the Coker Market, located in Coker, Alabama at the four-way intersection off of County Road 140. Their hours of operation are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m., and their menu items include the Midnight, which is smoked ham, smoked pork, Swiss cheese, Creole mustard, mayonnaise, and a pickle, grilled on French bread. That sandwich is absolutely amazing. Make sure you go and check out the Coker Market right there at the four-way intersection in Coker for amazing food and community goods. Your life can change on a dime, and if you are relocating for your job up to the Rocket City of Huntsville, the fastest growing city in the state of Alabama, you need to contact Celeste Hagler of First Class Real Estate South Home Group. She has brokers all over North Alabama to help you get settled with buying a new home in North Alabama. You can contact her at 205-861-5698. Once again, that is Celeste Hagler.
5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99. Only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
Where the season never ends. This is your home of Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back inside the Stingray Show right here on Tide 100.9. Our guest this evening is Ahmad Childress, the former Alabama defensive lineman. And Ahmad, later in 2002, you got your first taste of the Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn. What is your fondest memory of that rivalry as a player?
Oh man, just how tense it is! Like that was one of them rivals. It's blood. It's gonna be blood, sweat, and tears all day long. It might, it's one of them rivals that it might crack off in pregame. We might get it on in pregame, and man, I loved it. I loved it because I love big games like that. I've always loved it ever since I was in high school. Big rivalry games. Them the most games that I don't know. Big rival games, I don't get I get nervous like in a little game before I get nervous in a rival game.
Right.
Because when it's a rival game, you already know what time it is. There's no ifs and buts between it. You don't like them, they don't like you. It's not one bit. So it ain't no fact how this game's gonna start and how it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out aggressive, hard, and bloody.
Yes.
Ahmad, fun question. What was your welcome to the SEC moment? You're like, oh man, here it is.
Well, my one welcome to the SEC moment was against Georgia.
Okay.
We played that year. And I really found out how hard them running backs run in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the year that they had Musa Smith.
Yeah.
And man, me and him, we caught up in the hole, and it was like a stalemate. And I'm used to being the one that's doing the driving back.
Right.
But I had to put my anchor down and dig my clicks in the ground, and let's just go to the side here. I see. I ain't going back. So I see. I'm not. But it was a good game. That Georgia game was that woke me up to the SEC.
Right.
Wow. Of all the guys you went up against, who was one guy that you were like, man, this guy brings it every play, or this guy's really good?
Man, not to be biased because I played with him, Justin Smiley.
Yeah.
Justin Smiley, man, that guy there, he was one of a kind at that guard.
I bet.
He was strong, he was quick, he was fast. What made Justin so good, he was an offensive guard with a defensive lineman mentality.
Mm.
And I know with him in practice, A-Day, I mean, I got strapped up like I'm going against anybody I don't know.
Right.
Because, he was a great player, man. He was a great player.
So, Ahmad, unfortunately, in 2002 and in 2003, Alabama was on probation for those 2 years that you played for them. Mm-hmm. However, you guys, both years, got to go out to Hawaii and play the Warriors.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like going out to Hawaii for the first time in 2002?
Oh, man, it was great. I mean, I got a little feel of what a bowl game might look like, because we didn't get the whole perks, but, to fly across and play in the game, they treated it to us like a bowl anyway. We went out there for almost a week, and we had fun and, came together as a team and enjoyed our time. And, got to play some good football. Because that Warriors team, that's the 2 years. I think that was right when they were starting to get right back coming up, getting on their feet with Timmy Chang and all them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some good linemen.
So, Ahmad, you just mentioned him right there. He is now the head coach of the Warriors out there. Talk about what it is like, or what it was like, going up against that awesome quarterback out there, Timmy Chang.
Because he could sling it, man.
Man, he was a gunslinger, man. He was great. Like he played there. You know, that was his choice, but like he was a quarterback could have played anywhere to me.
Yes.
Like he was an awesome quarterback, man, and he could move, and like you say, he had a cannon.
You know, there's kind of a running joke here on the show, especially during football season. You know, I've always been, I don't want to say I'm a Hawaii fan, but I've always kept my eye on Hawaii ever since I was a kid because I'm a night owl. And to quote Jimmy Buffett here, I now wake up when I used to go to bed because now I'm an early bird. But I used to always stay up and watch that Hawaii game, even when I was like a fourth grader, a fifth grader, a little kid. If the Hawaii game was going to be on ESPN late that night, there was only one ESPN back then.
Right, yeah.
You know, I would stay up and I would watch that Hawaii game. And so over the years, I'd always stay up and watch that Hawaii game. But I remember staying up. I was at television at the time. Timmy Chang. I used to do the news at night, and then I was like, man, I'm going to watch Timmy Chang do his thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I would just sit there, and man, he could just fling it over and over and over. And I was like, why can't anybody stop this guy?
Man, he had some receivers. I think he had a receiver that year. I think his name was Chad Owens or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he was lightning fast. Like that team there, man. You couldn't underestimate them. They had a team.
Yeah.
You know, is it hard flying all the way out there? I mean, is there jet lag? I mean, I know you guys had a week, but for the regular player that goes out there, the regular team that travels out to the island to play Hawaii, do you see where the jet lag could definitely come into play and get caught up in the atmosphere? And it's not necessarily the atmosphere is just overwhelming. It's just the atmosphere is like, oh man, this place is nice.
Yeah, man, it was nice, man. Cause we stayed on Waikiki, right there on the beach,
on North Shore, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a jet lag, and then you're going out there and you're just experiencing and enjoying life. Like it was lovely and it's pretty. Like everywhere you look, it's beautiful out there.
Now, before you went out there, I'm guessing you'd never been to Hawaii before. I've never been.
Never.
All right. So, what is the closest thing that you have seen at that time in your life that was the closest thing to Hawaii?
Probably Florida.
Okay.
Went down to Florida because all the beaches and the water and stuff.
Right.
But man, to be real, nothing compares to that. I
bet it doesn't.
Nothing compares to that. I mean, I could have went out there a third year if we wanted to.
So, Ahmad, I really hate to bring this up, but you were the first player that we've talked to on the show about this whole situation. Mm-hmm. What was it like being at Alabama during the whole Dennis Franchione to Mike Price to Mike Shula issue there?
Oh man, it was tough. Because one, I'm gonna talk about my experience. Okay. I loved that Coach Fran and Coach Eggins and Coach Pope, Coach Termadol and all them, man. Like when they recruited me and got me there, man, I felt so much at home and so much like family. Coach Torbush and all of them, and I understand. Coach Fran had to do what he had to do. I mean, he got to support his family. I don't know the ins and outs. It might have been some other stuff that happened. I don't know, but the way I looked at it, he just took a better paid job to help his family. Yes. I'm gonna put it like that because he was a great coach, and that year that he was there, I think we went 10-3.
Right. Like
in the AP poll, we was top 10, I think, that year. Defense was ranked right up under Miami's defense. That's the year they won the national championship. So, I mean, it was all good. Then, Coach Price came in and, it was a hard situation for us because a lot of us had good relationships with the Coach Franchione staff. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Derek Pope, he had his uncle that was on the staff. Coach Pope was his uncle. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and so they're close to me and Derek was, that's like an uncle to me too. So it was like, then when the Price situation came up, it was like we was just now getting to gel with them, build a player-coach relationship with that staff, and then boom, after the spring is done, it's over with.
Right.
And we like God, like what's going on, man? Like, soon as we starting to get comfortable with a new staff, now this going on. You know, I mean, unfortunate what went on with that situation. It was kind of rough on a couple of us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
I do.
It was kind of rough. We was like, we already on probation. Now we got this going through. Now we're trying to get her to go through a third coach in the whole year.
Go on, Amon. I'm sorry.
Some of us, before we finna play our second year, is going through a third coach already. We like, what else is finna get ready to happen? But Coach Shula came in, man. He made us feel comfortable. He made us feel right at home. And Coach Shula, he wasn't afraid to hear us out.
Yes.
And you know, he understands how we feel. You know how you take some young men that done sign, and now this done happen. You know, that Coach Price bringing them in, and this happened. So I mean, what I commend Coach Shula about, he was there and he handled it very well.
Well, guys, on that note, we are up against our last break, and when we come back, we are going to finish up the interview with Ahmad Childress, the former Alabama defensive lineman. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show right here on Tide 100.9.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Harris. Coming up Friday on the TGIF edition of the Gary Harris Show. Always fun. Great music to get you ready for the weekend. Plus, Fox Sports play-by-play broadcaster Adam Amin and Brett Pritchard with the Auburn Report. Plus, your phone calls. That's the Gary Harris Show, Friday at 9.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Since 1999, residents of Tuscaloosa has depended on this butcher shop and grocery store. I'm talking about South's Finest Meats. With their specialty meats and fresh to frozen bulk vegetables, you can prepare delicious home-cooked meals all week long. At South's Finest Meats, customer service is their number one priority, and when you shop with them, you can expect to be treated like an MVP. Go by and check out South's Finest Meats at 3201 10th Avenue right there in Tuscaloosa. South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show. Residents of Tuscaloosa, are you guys upsizing, downsizing, looking for college housing, or even relocating for your job right here to Tuscaloosa? If that's the case, then you need to contact Celeste Hagler, owner and operator of First Class Real Estate South Home Group. She can help you with the buying, selling, and investment needs throughout the state of Alabama. You can contact Celeste at 205-861-5698. Reach out to Celeste again at 205-861-5698 and schedule a consultation to discuss your real estate goals and to live where you love in the state of Alabama. Are you guys in the mood for community goods and great barbecue? That's what you'll find at the Coker Market, located in Coker, Alabama at the four-way intersection off of County Road 140. Their hours of operation are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 7 p.m., and their menu items include the Midnight, which is smoked ham, smoked pork, Swiss cheese, Creole mustard, mayonnaise, and a pickle, grilled on French bread. That sandwich is absolutely amazing. Make sure you go and check out the Coker Market right there at the four-way intersection in Coker for amazing food and community goods.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Got some long-term road work continuing on McFarland Boulevard between University Boulevard and Lurleen B. Wallace Boulevard. Also, railroad bridge work on Skyland Boulevard near Clearview Hills Drive. The Kreitz Ferry Road is being
paid last year on tax prep, even if you filed online. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Your life can change on a dime, and if you are relocating for your job up to the Rocket City of Huntsville, the fastest growing city in the state of Alabama, you need to contact Celeste Hagler of First Class Real Estate South Home Group. She has brokers all over North Alabama to help you get settled with buying a new home in North Alabama. You can contact her at 205-861-5698. Once again, that is Celeste Hagler, 205-861-5698. Contact Celeste Hagler today to live where you love in the state of Alabama, even in the Rocket City of Huntsville. Welcome back inside our last segment right here on Tide 100.9 inside the Stingray Show, and our guest this evening is Ahmad Childress, who lettered at Alabama from 2002 to 2003 and played defensive lineman. And we were just talking about the 2003 season before the break, and you talked about the Oklahoma game. But the following week, you guys welcomed in the Kentucky Wildcats and the late, great, hefty lefty, Jared Lorenzen.
Golly.
He was a different breed.
Man, that was a load right there.
Ahmad, how difficult was it to tackle him? And did you ever have a play during that game where it came down to just you and him?
I never got to a play where it was just me and him, but I got to a play with, it was me and Antoine Odom. We got back there and we hit him. And, man, we both looked at each other when we got off the ground. We was like, shit, it's like hitting one of us. I mean, this ain't no little quarterback. I mean, we both had to hit him to bring him down. We had to look like roping the cattle. We had to rope and put our legs around and do everything.
You know, I heard Lou Holtz talk about Jared Lorenzen, and in my terrible Lou Holtz impersonation, he goes, he's the only quarterback I know can throw a football through a brick wall. Goes, he was like, he said he has never seen an arm with so much power to deliver that football. He said, I have never seen anything like Jared Lorenzen's arm, much less his physique.
And man. He was another quarterback. He had a cannon too.
Mm-hmm.
He had a rifle. And I mean, the hefty lefty, he lived up to his name.
Yeah, the round mound touchdown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God bless Jared Lorenzen. I wish he was still with us. He was always just a character on and off the field.
Oh, man, he was a good guy, man. You know, I got a chance to really meet him more when I was with the Giants, and he wound up coming up there, too, for a little bit.
Yeah.
And we was on team together, man. We talked about that game with Alabama. I was like, dude, I said, man, you know, you was the heaviest quarterback ever, period. I said, man, I almost put a hernia trying to pull you down on the ground.
Hey, you got a funny Jerry Lorenzen story for us?
No, I mean, like the only one I got is, you know, with me and Antoine Odom, we was bringing him down, and it came down slow because we had to pull we had to double team. One go up top, one go high.
Right.
He got to fall some type of way.
Wow. You know, I heard about Jared Lorenzen when Coach Brooks came to Kentucky, and I think Jared was going into his senior year, and they were trying to you know, there was rumors of him on a soup diet, and we're going to up his cardio and this and that. But it was his first workout. Like, he hasn't met Coach yet.
Right.
And it's still off-season workouts. Brooks had just been announced. And so anyway, they said it was the first workout, and Brooks comes in, and they said Lorenzen's just laying on the floor, just gushing with sweat. Early morning workout. And he's just sitting there huffing and puffing. And Coach Brooks goes up to him and goes, "Hi, Jared." He goes, "I'm your new head football coach." And they said Jared just put his hand up and goes, "I don't care who the hell you are. Just let me breathe."
I can believe it. I mean, I had to go through that one time in Alabama. You know, they wanted me to cut weight, so I had to me and Anthony Bryant, we had to get up 5:30 in the morning, go meet Coach Jones in the weight room, try to cut that weight, and we did for that last year.
Right.
So what are those workouts like?
Trust me, they worse than the regular workouts.
Is it mostly cardio?
Yeah, I mean, it's cardio and most like what we did with our weights, it was most like repetition, high repetition, the fat burn. It was rough because everybody else sleep in the morning at 5:30.
Right.
Coach Jones had me and Anthony Brown up at 5:30, meet him in the gym, and I'm like, man, I got to cut this weight. I'm tired of getting up at 5:30, man. Then have to try to get to class at 8 o'clock. I want to sleep in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ahmad, the following week after Kentucky, unfortunately, you guys lost to Northern Illinois 19-16. But oddly enough, you didn't turn the ball over once. So what ultimately led to that upset there in Tuscaloosa?
Basically coming off, even though we lost to Oklahoma, then came right back and beat Kentucky. We were kind of feeling ourselves a little bit. We like, okay, but I mean, we had every right to feeling ourselves. We just went through 2 football programs, 2 football playbooks, different type of style of playbooks in less than a year. And we're coming out, I mean, nobody expected us to come out good as we did, started out at least, and underestimated our opponent.
Right.
We thought, okay, this little Northern Illinois, we big dog SEC. We just they gonna bow down just because we SEC. So it's gonna be a cakewalk, and they wind up jumping out on us, and like a boxer, they got the punches in, and we couldn't bounce back.
A week later, the Arkansas Razorbacks came into town, and the game was delayed an hour and a half due to lightning. As a player, how difficult is it to get amped up for a game only to have to sit and wait due to weather?
Man, it's kind of rough because it's just like a guy that's working on a car or doing, y'all guys know, doing housework. When I'm in my groove, let me be in my groove. I ain't trying to stop right now.
Right.
And you go out there for warm up and you use your groove after you warm. The adrenaline is still going, and you ready to get back out there as soon as you can. But when you got them long delays, your body just, you just start to get. It's like any other thing. You just start to get down. Like, man, when are we gonna go out? When are we gonna go out? Now you don't start to really. You still focusing on the game, but your body's like, man, I don't know when I'm gonna go out. I don't want to get out juiced up, and I'm just gonna be sitting here another 30 minutes.
So, Ahmad, look, man, we really do want to thank you for this awesome interview. And before we let you go, is there anything that you would like to give a shout out to or tell people where they can follow you on social media?
First and foremost, I just want to thank God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for everything and for all my blessings and everything, and to do the show and everything. Anybody can find me. They can find me on Facebook up under Ahmad Childress. I'll be coaching, and I'm coaching at high school at Green Hill High School in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Head coach Josh Crouch, and I give a shout out to all my family, my friends, and all my road titles.
Yes.
There you go.
So, Ahmad, look, man, thank you again, and we will definitely catch up during the football season, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Take care, Ahmad.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, Heath, I got to tell you what, man, I thoroughly enjoyed that with former defensive lineman Ahmad Childress there from Alabama. And I thoroughly enjoyed him talking about trying to tackle the late, great, hefty lefty, Jared Lorenzen.
I enjoyed hearing him talk about what it was like when he was a student and what he's trying to change. He was very open about it, and how he was not a good student in high school. He thought teachers would just give him the grade because he was a football star.
Right.
And they didn't, and he had to go to junior college. And so now he is in the most wonderful position. He was talking about God. He was grateful for that job. Yes. God has put him exactly in that position because he gets to teach, the high school athlete now, the high school football player, don't do what I did.
Yes.
Take care of your grades, and you can go be part of big-time football for 4 years, not 2 like I had to. And where my mama had to drop me off in the middle of nowhere, as he said.
Yes.
But again, he looks back at that and he's very grateful for it. It made him grow up. When he went to Kansas to junior college, it made him grow up. He got to meet a wonderful family, a second family, and he calls all those people his brothers and sisters and mom and dad. So it was a wonderful experience for him, and an experience that made him grow up. And it was probably the perfect environment for him.
So, guys, on that note, we got to sign off here on the Stingray Show. We hope that you have enjoyed it with Ahmad Childress. Make sure you tune in for another Stingray Show tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock as we will discuss the upcoming college basketball weekend with Chris Lee and talk a little college baseball.